Good afternoon, all. It is 4:32. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is the Garland ISD UNT cohort May interest meeting. We had one earlier this year, but we wanted to have another one before we got out for the summer. If you have any questions, we will have time for questions at the end. So jot those down, and you can also utilize the chat function. I would like to introduce Dr. Russell and recognize that Dr. Russell is here. And now I want to introduce you to Dr. Linda Stromberg from UNT. Dr. Stromberg will be your guide through the UNT GISD cohort, and she's going to be a wealth of knowledge for all those who are here today that have any questions. And so without further ado, I want to introduce you to and let Dr. Linda Stromberg talk to you a little bit about UNT and what they can offer GISD.
Okay, thank you very much, Ebony and Dr. Russell and everyone from Garland. I want to just give you, in order of time, I will kind of zoom through this. I know you all are busy, but I'm here to just tell you a little about our master's degree program and our principal as an instructional leader certification program. And then if you already have another master's, you might be interested in the principal as instructional leader certification alone. It's a little bit fewer hours, and I'll tell you about both of those. So Ebony, could you go on to the next one? Now, I want to introduce people. I'm Linda Stromberg. I'm the advisor for these programs. And then at the end of that list, you can see Marilyn Duval. Marilyn, would you raise your hand or say something so we'll look at you?
Hi, everyone.
And Marilyn is our student services coordinator, and she helps people get enrolled and ask questions, and she'll be a wonderful contact. The other two people on there, Dr. Wong and Dr. Rubio, are not here tonight, but they, along with other members in our program, are in this helping us with all of these classes. And I put my email and Marilyn's email, and so if you have other questions, if we don't answer your questions tonight, feel free to email us. And then from Garland ISD, you've already been introduced to Dr. Susanna Russell. And then I think Dr. Brown might be here later or in transit. And then Ebony is wonderful at getting this whole thing set up. So thank you. All right, next one, Ebony. Okay, well, I'm just our master's degree and principal as instructional leader certification. Our courses are 10, for the master's degree, there are 10 courses, and then one more course for the internship for principal certification. Now I'm going to tell you something a little different about the internship later, but for now, so if you were just getting your master's degree, it would be 10 courses. But most people do want to get principal certification, so it's one extra internship. And then if you already have another master's degree, you can take 6 of our 8-week courses and one full semester internship for principal certification. Ebony, he says he's not, somebody says they're not getting any audio. Are you all hearing, can you hear me okay? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, make sure I'm not on mute. So anyway, for the person not getting audio, we are going to be, of course, we're going to be sending this information out, but for either program, you can transfer in up to 2 courses if the courses are recent and they align with our courses. When I say recent, for certification, for the master's degree, nothing over well, the master's degree has to be completed in 5 years. So if you took something a long time ago, it can't be transferred. And then for certification, it also can't be over 5 years old. The state won't let us transfer in courses from another university if they're over 5 years old. So, but if you have a recent degree and they're similar to our courses, you can transfer in 2, okay, or 1, whichever ones work out. Okay, okay. Then the time needed varies a little bit if you decide to get out of sequence, but if you do take 2 courses each session, you can earn that in 12 months, the degree and the certificate. And then I've already told you that about the time. And so our courses are meant to accommodate busy schedules of working professionals, and I know you're all very busy. So time, it can be finished fairly quickly. It is high quality. Our students have a high graduation rate and a high assessment passing rate on the 2 assessments you have to take to get a principal certificate. And just recently, our program was recognized as #1 in Texas and #5 in the United States as the best online master's program offering educational leadership and supervision. So we try to make outstanding personalized advising. Each student is important. And Marilyn, that I introduced a while ago, is great about helping and keeping each person's needs at the forefront. And then our courses are affordable. I mean, almost nothing in college these days is completely affordable, but we were recognized as #3 in the U.S. By Best Value Schools, and they judge that by the cost as related to your graduation rate. And then down at the bottom, it says financial aid is available for the master's degree and for certification. We do certification. You have to fill out a certain form to if you're just certification, but also UNT has a number of scholarships. I don't think they're great big scholarships, but for the master's degree, but we do have some. Okay. Okay. And then some of the courses will be 100% online, and then others will be partially online, and others some face-to-face meetings there in a Garland location. And UNT faculty members will teach some of the classes, and Garland ISD leaders who will also become, temporarily a UNT faculty member will teach some of the classes, so that you'll get a Garland ISD kind of flavor for your courses. So when you begin your administrative career, you'll already have some background in your district's philosophies. I mean, I'm sure you already have a lot of that in the philosophy of the district, but it will be even more so. And then our areas of emphasis, we emphasize the Texas domains and competencies. You need those for your passing of all these assessments. Plus, they are just best practices for educational leadership. And then we're going to do our best to align these courses with your vision and goal and instructional approaches for the Garland effect. Okay, with you, go on, Ebony. So if you want to apply, and later on I will get to some questions, but if this sounds interesting to you, you can go to this website, and we'll, like we said, we'll be sending you this so you can have that website, and you'll apply. And I do see a mistake already, but when I did this, you would go to www.applytexas.org. Well, they've changed the name of that. Now it's called goapplytexas.org. Isn't that right, Marilyn?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I think if you go to applytexas.org, it gets you there still, but the correct name is goapplytexas.org. And that website allows you to apply to other schools too, but you can apply to UNT that way. And you will have to get your transcripts to our graduate school, which is sometimes the thing that slows people down because they want all your transcripts. If you went to UNT, I believe you can just call our graduate school and let them know, and I think they will just transfer them over. You can ask, but if you went from another university, and you can send them electronically. That page I have linked up there tells you how there's an address. You can send them by paper or you can send them electronically. And so that's to the graduate school, and that's usually the slowest part. So whenever you decide to go, you want to go ahead and do that part quickly, pretty soon, but or in advance of when you want to start. And then you're going to submit to our program a resume and a letter of recommendation from a supervisor and an essay. And the topic of the essay is explained on that website, but it's basically, why you want to be a leader in a multicultural environment and, make a difference for students. And you have to send a copy of your teaching certificate. And then when you're on that website, there's a program application you fill out and it's linked there. And so of those lists up there, and I do see, we used this before, number 1 through 4, you're going to send, not 1 through 3, you're going to send to Marilyn Jubal. And number 5 is right there in the website. When we did this was this way, but for some reason they didn't want the teaching certificate sent that way. So you'll send those 4 things to Marilyn, and then you'll just click on that program application. Okay, would you go on to the next? Okay, and this schedule, we still, may work out some details of it later, but this is the basic schedule. This summer, we're offering campus level school law and school improvement and organization. Organizational change, which is where we do an introduction and have the basics of leverage leadership. And of course, school law is kind of self-explanatory, but it's the basics of what a principal needs to know. And a lot of people who take that class say really everybody should know some of the law concepts, teachers, everybody in the school. And then we're going to start in fall. And our the fall session starts on August 29th, and the first 8 weeks goes through October 21st. And then we start another one October 24th through the 16th and offer 2 more courses. And then January, what we plan for you to go ahead and do your internship then and take one of your courses 8 weeks and one of them the second, and then then the next summer take 2 courses, and then you'll be finished with your master's degree. So you would graduate in August, and if you started this summer, you'd graduate in August, and you would get your certificate at the same time if you have finished the tests that you have to take these days to get a principal's certificate. Okay, would you go on to the next one? Okay, so you can finish it within a year. And then, like I said, you'll need to, somewhere in that year, you'll have to take the Texas 268, which is a regular test like other tests. But then now the state has required everybody to do these 3 performance assessments. you don't need them for the degree, but you do need them for certification. Well, you don't need either one of those tests for the degree, but for certification, you have to take the TEXAS, and then you have to take the PASL, which is really good for you. It'll be better for you since your district is sponsoring a cohort, because your principal kind of needs to work with you on the PASL, because you're choosing a school problem you're going to work on. You're delivering a professional development and following up on it. And then you're videotaping yourself leading a collaborative group. So it's a little more involved. Those of us who already have our principal certificate a long time ago really lucked out, because it is more difficult now, but these are good skills you're learning, and they'll benefit you when you're a principal. Okay, next slide. We're almost finished, then I'll take questions. Well, our summer classes begin on June 6th, which is coming right up, and they end on July 29th. If you were in our summer classes, again, these two are fully online, except we will have maybe a Zoom session or two, but they would be optional. So if you were traveling or something this summer, you could probably take these. Then we won't have any classes through August, but our fall classes begin on August the 29th. So we had this. So especially if you think you might want to start this summer, you do need to apply immediately. And, you may not be able to get in for the summer. If you were able to get all your transcripts real quickly, and, we would do our best. But if you can't get in for the summer, or if you just don't want to, have to rush around and get all that at the end of the year, you could start in the fall, and you could even start in October, because we have another class starting in October. So either way, it'd probably be a good idea to go ahead and be applying and so forth. So now, questions? Oh, and then, excuse me, I'll come back to questions, but this is our website. So, if you just go to coe.unt.edu, you can find graduate studies, and you can find a site for our master's and certification only, but they're very similar. And then here's our contact information.